In the waning years of the 19th century, America stood on the cusp of modernity, a landscape marked by the roar of industry and the whisper of change. It was an era where giants walked the earth, none more towering than John D. Rockefeller. Born into a world of steam and steel, Rockefeller rose to become the embodiment of the American dream, a titan of industry whose very name conjured images of boundless wealth and unyielding power. Yet, behind the facade of the oil magnate lay a man shrouded in mystery, a figure as admired as he was vilified. Rockefeller's life was a paradox. He was a ruthless businessman who reshaped the American oil industry with an iron fist, yet also a devoted philanthropist who gave away vast fortunes for the betterment of humanity. His story is not just one of wealth and power, but also of the complexities and contradictions that define the human spirit. As we delve into the life of John D. Rockefeller, we find ourselves entangled in a narrative that is as much about the making of a nation as it is about the making of a man. In this journey, we will unravel the enigma of a figure who stood at the crossroads of an era, a man who, for better or worse, shaped the course of the modern world. John Davison Rockefeller entered the world on July 8, 1839, in the modest hamlet of Richford, New York. His arrival marked the beginning of a life that would traverse the extremes of American society, from rural simplicity to unparalleled wealth. John's early years were shaped under the roof of a typical mid-19th century household, yet there was nothing typical about the Rockefeller family dynamics. His father, William Avery Rockefeller, known colloquially as Devil Bill, was a man of many faces, a traveling salesman, a purported doctor, and at times, a dubious con artist. Devil Bill's elusive nature and sporadic presence left an indelible mark on young John, who learned early the harsh realities of uncertainty and the value of self-reliance. In contrast, his mother, Eliza Davison Rockefeller, was a pillar of stability and moral fortitude. A devout Baptist, she instilled in John and his siblings the virtues of hard work, thrift, and a stern but fair moral compass. These teachings would become the bedrock of Rockefeller's character. The dichotomy of his parents' personalities played a pivotal role in shaping young Rockefeller's worldview. From his father, he inherited a cunning business acumen and a knack for risk-taking. From his mother, he absorbed the principles of discipline, religious devotion, and a deep sense of responsibility towards one's community. These early life lessons in thrift and hard work were not merely survival skills, but the foundational blocks upon which Rockefeller would build his empire. The boy from Richford, with his unassuming beginnings, was unknowingly being groomed for a future that would leave an indelible mark on the American landscape. John D. Rockefeller's foray into the world of business began not in the gleaming towers of industry, but in the modest streets of Cleveland, Ohio. At the tender age of 16, with the precision of a seasoned entrepreneur, he embarked on his first business venture, a produce commission business. Partnering with a neighbor's son, Maurice B. Clark, Rockefeller displayed an innate acumen for commerce, dealing in hay, grains, meats, and other goods. This early experience was more than a mere adolescent undertaking. It laid the foundation for his understanding of market dynamics, trade, and most importantly, the value of relationships in business. The real turning point came in 1859, when the oil boom in Pennsylvania captured the nation's attention. Sensing an unprecedented opportunity, Rockefeller, then just 20 years old, pivoted his focus towards this burgeoning industry. In 1863, he took a decisive step, partnering with Samuel Andrews, a skilled chemist, to build an oil refinery in Cleveland. This venture marked the genesis of what would become the world's most famous oil company, Standard Oil. Rockefeller's early strategies in the oil business set him apart from his competitors. He possessed a foresight that was rare for his time, recognizing that the real profit lay not in drilling for oil, but in refining it. While others gambled on the uncertain task of finding oil, Rockefeller focused on refining and distribution, aspects of the business he could control and optimize. He invested heavily in the latest technologies to increase efficiency and reduce costs, allowing him to undercut his competitors' prices. Moreover, Rockefeller understood the significance of a well-oiled supply chain. He negotiated shrewd deals with railroads for cheaper transportation rates, an approach that not only lowered his costs, but also created barriers for his competitors. His vision extended beyond the immediate scope of oil refining. He envisioned an integrated company that controlled every aspect of the oil business, from extraction to transportation, to refining to distribution. This early period of Rockefeller's career was a masterclass in strategic planning and execution, setting the stage for the dominance of Standard Oil in the years to come. His ability to identify and capitalize on efficiencies, negotiate strategically, and envision a vertically integrated business model not only revolutionized the oil industry, but also laid the groundwork for the modern corporate economy. The ascendancy of Standard Oil in the late 19th century stands as a testament to John D. Rockefeller's unparalleled business acumen and strategic foresight. In a span of just a few years, Standard Oil transformed from a modest Cleveland refinery into a behemoth that virtually monopolized the American oil industry. This meteoric rise was not a product of chance, but a result of deliberate and calculated moves orchestrated by Rockefeller. At the heart of Standard Oil's dominance was Rockefeller's innovative approach to business organization: horizontal and vertical integration. Horizontal integration involved the acquisition or elimination of competitors to achieve market dominance. Rockefeller systematically bought out his competitors. Those who refused his offers often found themselves undercut by his lower prices or squeezed out through his transportation deals. This strategy not only expanded Standard Oil's market share, but also reduced competition significantly. Vertical integration, on the other hand, involved gaining control of every step in the supply chain, from extraction to distribution. By doing this, Rockefeller ensured that Standard Oil was not at the mercy of suppliers or transporters. The company owned its oil wells, pipelines, barrel factories, and even its own fleet of railroad tank cars. This comprehensive control over the supply chain enabled Standard Oil to operate with unparalleled efficiency and profitability. A lesser-known but crucial element of Rockefeller's strategy was his secret railroad deals, often referred to as the railroad rebate system. Understanding the critical role of transportation costs in the oil business, Rockefeller negotiated secret agreements with railroads like the Erie, the New York Central, and the Pennsylvania Railroad. These deals provided Standard Oil with rebates, discounts, for shipping large volumes of oil, and, more controversially, sometimes rebates on the shipments of his competitors. This strategy not only reduced Standard Oil's operating costs dramatically, but also effectively raised costs for his competitors, hindering their ability to compete on price. These railroad deals were kept meticulously secret, as they were highly controversial and would later become a central issue in the public outcry against Standard Oil. The rebates were not illegal at the time, but they demonstrated Rockefeller's ability to leverage his growing influence in innovative, albeit ethically questionable ways. Through these strategies, Standard Oil not only grew rapidly, but also reshaped the entire landscape of the American oil industry. By the 1880s, Rockefeller's empire controlled about 90% of the U.S. refining capacity, a level of dominance that was unprecedented. This period marked the zenith of Rockefeller's power and laid the foundations for his enduring legacy as one of the most influential industrialists in American history. Behind the facade of the industrial titan, John D. Rockefeller's personal life was characterized by a deep religious conviction, a commitment to family, and a fondness for simple pleasures. In 1864, Rockefeller married Laura Celestia Seti Spellman, a union that would not only bring stability and joy to his life, but also further ground his philanthropic endeavors. Laura, sharing John's devout Baptist beliefs, played a pivotal role in his life, providing support and counsel. Together, they had 5 children, and their family life was marked by a strong emphasis on religious education, moral values, and the importance of charitable giving. Rockefeller's religious beliefs were a cornerstone of his life and influenced many of his business decisions. A devout Baptist, he was a regular attendee of the Euclid Avenue Baptist Church and later the Fifth Avenue Baptist Church in New York. His faith was not just a Sunday routine, but a daily practice that guided his ethics and actions. He believed in the Protestant work ethic, which emphasized hard work, discipline, and frugality, principles that he applied rigorously in both his personal and business life. This deep-seated spirituality also informed his approach to wealth. He saw his financial success as a divine blessing and felt a strong responsibility to use his riches to better humanity, a belief that laid the groundwork for his later philanthropic ventures. Away from the boardroom, Rockefeller had a surprising penchant for simple pleasures and personal quirks. He was an avid golfer, relishing the sport for both its competitive nature and its opportunity for relaxation. His love for golf was so profound that he even had a private golf course built on his estate. Additionally, Rockefeller enjoyed simple leisure activities like driving his horse-drawn carriage and later, in his old age, being driven around in one of his few automobiles. A lesser-known aspect of his personality was his sense of humor and love for personal interaction. Despite his reserved public persona, Rockefeller enjoyed engaging with people, often surprising strangers by giving them a dime as a token of good fortune, a gesture that became one of his trademarks in his later years. In summary, the private life of John D. Rockefeller paints a picture of a man deeply rooted in his religious beliefs and family values, finding contentment in the modest joys of life and always mindful of the responsibility that his immense wealth entailed. The zenith of John D. Rockefeller's business career was indelibly marked by controversies and legal battles, climaxing in the landmark 1911 Supreme Court case that reshaped American business practices. This case, Standard Oil Co. of New Jersey v. United States, became a pivotal moment in U.S. antitrust history. The Supreme Court, in a decision that echoed the rising public outcry against monopolies, ruled that Standard Oil had engaged in monopolistic practices and violated the Sherman Antitrust Act. As a result, the company was ordered to be broken up into 34 independent companies. Rockefeller's views on competition and capitalism were complex and often misinterpreted. He believed in the efficiency of large-scale operations and saw the consolidation of businesses as a natural and beneficial evolution of the market. In his perspective, monopolies could eliminate wasteful competition and provide stable, low-cost goods to the consumer. However, this view was increasingly at odds with a society that feared the concentration of too much power in the hands of a few. Despite the breakup of Standard Oil, Rockefeller's influence in the business world did not wane. His lesser-known strategies post-breakup involved a careful restructuring of his investments and a focus on diversification. As the various Standard Oil entities were spun off, Rockefeller received proportional shares in each of these new entities. This diversification unexpectedly multiplied his wealth, as many of these companies, like Exxon and Chevron, became extremely successful. Moreover, Rockefeller shifted his focus to philanthropy, which, while not a direct business strategy, significantly improved his public image. He established well-known institutions such as the Rockefeller Foundation, the University of Chicago, and Rockefeller University. Through these organizations, he channeled his wealth into education, medical research, and science, thereby continuing to exert significant influence over American society and culture. In essence, the controversies and legal challenges Rockefeller faced marked both an end and a transformation. While they signaled the end of his direct control over the oil industry, they also marked the beginning of a new era where his influence extended beyond the realm of business into the broader fabric of American society. In the later years of his life, John D. Rockefeller shifted his focus from amassing wealth to distributing it for the greater good. His contributions to philanthropy were as monumental as his business achievements, significantly impacting education, science, and medicine. Rockefeller's philanthropic endeavors were rooted in his belief that wealth should be used to improve the world. One of his most significant contributions was the establishment of the Rockefeller Foundation in 1913. The foundation aimed to promote the well-being of mankind throughout the world, and it transformed philanthropy by applying scientific research to solve social problems. It played a crucial role in public health initiatives, medical training, and the arts, among other areas. Notably, it was instrumental in the development of a yellow fever vaccine and the eradication of hookworm disease in the United States. Rockefeller's support for education materialized through substantial donations to institutions such as the University of Chicago, which he helped found and which quickly rose to prominence under his patronage. His contributions to medical research were equally significant, leading to the establishment of the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research, now Rockefeller University, a leading center for medical and scientific research. In his retirement, Rockefeller reflected on his legacy with a complex mix of pride and humility. He took satisfaction in his business achievements, but derived greater contentment from his philanthropic work, viewing it as a fulfillment of his moral and religious duties. He lived to be 97 years old, witnessing the long-reaching impact of his generosity. His legacy, therefore, is twofold: one of a ruthless businessman who reshaped an industry, and another of a visionary philanthropist who aimed to better humanity. John D. Rockefeller passed away on May 23, 1937, at the age of 97. His death elicited mixed reactions. While some admired his business acumen and philanthropic legacy, others remembered the ruthless methods he employed to build his empire. Regardless of these differing views, his impact on American society is undeniable. Rockefeller revolutionized the oil industry and set new standards in business practices, influencing the structure of modern corporations. His extensive philanthropic efforts, particularly in education, medical research, and public health, have left a lasting positive imprint, underscoring the complex duality of his legacy as both a corporate titan and a major philanthropist. John D. Rockefeller remains an enigmatic figure in American history, embodying both the pinnacle of capitalist success and the height of philanthropic generosity. His life, marked by stark contrasts and profound influences, challenges us to reflect on the complexities of human character and ambition. As we consider Rockefeller's legacy, we are invited to ponder the intricate interplay between wealth, power, and responsibility. His story is not just a chronicle of personal achievement, but a narrative that continues to shape our understanding of modern capitalism and philanthropy, challenging us to consider the broader implications of our pursuits and contributions in society.